Where it's not prohibited for a juvenile to carry a firearm. It's one of the things that I haven't seen in any other state.
Those armed teens responsible for carjackings, shootings, and murders across the St. Louis region. Tonight, questions grow about our juvenile justice system. And it is the focus of a First Alert 4 Investigate series, Kids or Criminals? Good evening, I'm Corey Stark alongside Morgan Harris. Sam has the night off.
Police agencies around the Bi-State say to keep you safe, something needs to change. First Alert 4 Chief Investigator Lauren Traeger has rare and exclusive access to the juvenile court system as we begin our series tonight.
My intentions wasn't on hurting anybody.
Now at work at his mom's St. Louis bake shop.
What my mama finna say, how long I'm finna be in jail.
17-year-old Tyron knows the exact moment his life took a turn.
Got in trouble at school for bringing a gun to school.
A gun in school, and he got caught. No one was hurt, but he was in serious trouble.
Overwhelming, really scared. They took him straight to jail after that. He stayed there for a week in the detention center. But yeah, really scary.
Tyron, one of hundreds of cases sent through the juvenile court system in St. Louis City and County every single year. Some for minor crimes, others for extremely serious ones, putting the public at risk. The juvenile court system this summer under a serious spotlight, especially given a recent case of teens suspected of 2 carjackings in 24 hours.
These are kids committing very dangerous crimes that is going to kill someone.
The point system's not working.
Recently, some police got critical of what's called the juvenile point system. It is central to the question, kids or criminals, and it's meant to help decide which juveniles should be in detention centers.
It does have points, that is correct.
So to explain it to you, we got exclusive access inside St. Louis City's juvenile courts.
So this is a score sheet. It's a one-page score sheet.
When a juvenile is arrested, Chief Attorney Jim Michael says this score sheet helps determine detention or something else, like an ankle monitor. Agreed on statewide in 2013 by committees of court officials, it gives points for the type of offense. Unlawful use of a gun for one equals automatic detention. That's what happened to Tyron. The system gives points, too, for priors or flight risks. Anything over 15 points equals detention. In just St. Louis City last year, 245 juveniles were detained before their cases were decided. But Michael says there is discretion. Officials can override the point system.
We absolutely take it seriously because it is about public safety. It's also about the juvenile safety.
Legal precedence, he says, requires them to consider the, quote, least restrictive means of protecting the public and the juvenile. Bottom line, Michael says each case is a kid.
We treat these juveniles and we try and help them get their lives straight.
The idea is not to punish.
It is not to punish. It is a treatment court. That's right. Really, all they're looking for is what are the treatment options? What's the least restrictive means by which this juvenile can be treated and public safety can be protected?
He's not a bad person. He made a bad decision.
Tyron says he learned he'd rather be under his mom's watchful eye than a judge's.
This is not me. I had to realize, like, this is not a place that I should be.
Juvenile court, a second chance to make something of himself.
Just to make my mama proud, so I can just take care of them. Take care of them. That's all I want to do is take care of them.
Tyron knows what he did was wrong. He was in a debilitating car accident a few years ago and has lost several family members to gun violence. He successfully completed house arrest, got his high school diploma while under court supervision. He's also been participating in a program by the Urban League called Reroute, which helps give support to young people. But there has been increasing strain on the juvenile system, largely because of a law that recently went into effect. We're going to explain that in the next part of our series, Kids or Criminals, coming up tomorrow at 6. I'm Lauren Traeger. First Alert 4 investigates.
Change in Missouri law having a big impact on juvenile courts. This is First Alert 4 at 6. I'm Morgan Harris.
And I'm Corey Stark. Samantha Jones is off tonight. The change is supposed to help keep you safe, but it's also nearly double the caseload in the juvenile court system. First Alert 4 Chief Investigator Lauren Traeger got rare and exclusive access to those courts and the problems they're facing for part 2 of her series, Kids or Criminals.
rap, TV, and a lot of stuff.
The influence is everywhere, parents and community leaders told us.
You guilty by associations.
Without extra support, images like these we heard over and over
Mostly just not having nothing to do though.
are part of what turns teens toward crime.
Nobody want to be in the streets. I feel like it's really just the option that they think that's cool and they can get money from.
From carjackings to shootings and murders, teens as young as 13 and 14 putting themselves in serious trouble.
These are kids committing very dangerous crimes that is going to kill someone.
But when juveniles break the law, how should they be treated? As kids or as criminals? It's an issue putting the juvenile justice system under the spotlight this summer.
If it's a serious felony offense, the juveniles need to be detained and there needs to be consequences.
Some people have been calling for changes to the juvenile system. By its design, it is shrouded in secrecy, meant to protect kids' privacy. But over the last several months, I have fought for and have been granted rare and exclusive access to court hearings to better explain to you what's really going on behind these walls.
We want to protect the public and we want to help these juveniles get their lives straight.
Jim Michaels, the chief trial attorney for St. Louis's juvenile courts.
This is a treatment court, and the idea is that juveniles should get treatment and they should get a chance because of their tender age.
But the definition of that tender age has recently changed. In 2021, a law called Raise the Age went into effect. Before, anyone over the age of 17 was tried as an adult in Missouri. Now it's 18. That's caused a 40% increase in cases handled by juvenile court.
It is a dramatic increase, and it is it's a very stressful increase on the juvenile system. There's no question.
Did your staffing or your budget go up 40%?
It did not, no, and we wish it would have, but it did not. But we've made do.
The biggest change, they now seek to certify kids to stand trial as adults far more often. In 2020, only 4 juveniles were certified as adults in St. Louis. In 2024, it was 17. This year, Corian Blanks, a 17-year-old, was charged as an adult to stand trial for murder at a gas station at North Grand and Natural Bridge. Michael says a judge's decision to treat a child as an adult is made based on the charge itself, the sophistication of the juvenile, and their background or criminal history.
We absolutely take it seriously because it is about public safety. It's also about the juvenile's safety.
How exactly to stop kids from committing crimes, Michael says, takes a tough balance, a problem he says the courts cannot take on alone.
We are doing our very best with the system that has been given us by the legislature.
A system still trying to work against all the other influences.
I don't want to get in trouble again. It don't make sense.
The courts and law enforcement are looking for new ways to literally reroute kids off a path of crime. We'll be looking at some of those programs and asking, what about the parents? That's coming up in part 3 of our series, Kids or Criminals, tomorrow at 6. I'm Lauren Traeger. First Alert 4 investigates.
And finding solutions to juvenile crime, it is a pressing need in our community. Good evening, I'm Corey Stark.
And I'm Morgan Harris in for Samantha Jones. Teens who commit crimes are a threat to your safety and a strain on the court system.
Tonight, Chief Investigator Lauren Traeger wraps up her series, Kids or Criminals, with those who are working to turn the tide.
How are you, Miss Helen?
Working hard for the Urban League, Makai Stewart now offers a listening ear and a hand up.
Family man overall, just trying to be the best person I can be all the time.
But it wasn't always that way.
I just hung around the wrong crowd and sometimes got into bad things, you know.
He was suspended in high school.
I had got into a fight. It was drugs involved.
Makai, like hundreds of other teens in the St. Louis region every year, faced a crossroads. But central to the question, kids or criminals, is another question. Who besides the courts and police can help when teens are in trouble?
They're reaching out. You know, they need help.
Jim Winslow, through the Urban League, started Reroute, a program working with teens in big trouble.
We've had 12-year-olds in the program before, you know, with serious charges.
Juvenile crime, he says, isn't what it used to be. Social media influence, he says, to blame, so too are adults around the kids.
Age is really, it's no matter anymore. You know, we have 18-year-olds and 12-year-olds hanging out together, you know, doing the same thing, or they see what their big brother doing or what their friends doing, they also want to do it.
So Reroute is now working to support juveniles in court. They show up to court hearings, meet with the teens every week.
We've got to be able to deliver the support right into their living room. We've got to be able to deal with this issue where it's born.
James Clark of the Urban League says tackling juvenile crime isn't just about locking them up.
I think that we should start the dismantling of this culture at 5, 6, 7, and 8. I think that the earlier we can reach them, the better.
Programs like Reroute, he says, give juveniles support the system can't offer.
Our challenge is to let's help them mature fast so that they don't break something that we can't fix.
But when it comes to the fix, the question we hear a lot, what about the parents?
This is the first and only warning. Parents will be cited for their children's bad behavior.
St. Louis police announcing this summer charges against adults for contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
I don't agree with that.
At her bakery business, Tequila Cole keeps close eyes on her son Tyron, something she says she can't do every minute of the day.
We cannot carry our kids around all day, you know. A lot of us are single moms. We just can't be in two places at one time.
When her son brought a gun to school in 2023, he went to a juvie detention center and faced a judge. Reroute, she says, worked for him.
I didn't have a village, but we have one now.
You got to understand that you're not by yourself. There are people that want to help you and want to see you in a better position.
Mackay, too, says without Winslow and Reroute, he'd be in a different spot.
You can get there. It doesn't matter what it looks like or how long it takes. You have the ability to be better.
At the door now, a second chance. After suspension, success. His hard work getting him to graduation day.
Juveniles in the St. Louis County court system can be mandated to the Reroute program. Organizers, though, say they hope it will just grow. Again, it's all part of how to handle juveniles in the justice system. We've got the other parts of our series, Kids or Criminals, on the First Alert 4 News app. I'm Lauren Traeger. First Alert 4 investigates.